We are back.
We are back with Chapter 9, Follow the Leader. It was pitch dark.
What happened after, Danny?
I don't know. Something weird, said Jack. We have to get out of here fast. Push against the door.
Good idea, said Danny in a small voice.
They felt their way through the darkness to the top of the stairs. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay, said Jack. He was trying to stay calm.
Of course, said Annie.
They leaned against the wooden door and pushed. It wouldn't budge. They pushed harder. No use. Jack took a deep breath. It was getting harder to breathe and harder to stay calm.
What can we do? Asked Danny.
Just rest a moment, said Jack. He was panting. His heart was pounding as he tried to see through the darkness. Maybe we should start going down the hall, he said. Maybe we'll eventually come to an exit. He wasn't sure about that, but they had no choice. Come on, he said. Feel the wall. Jack felt the stone wall as he climbed slowly down the stairs. Annie followed. Jack started down the dark hallway. It was impossible to see anything, but he kept going, taking one step at a time, moving his hands along the wall. He went around a corner. He went round another corner. He came to some stairs. He went up. There was a door. He pushed against it. Annie pushed too, but the door wouldn't budge. Was this the same door that they had started at? It was no use. They were trapped. Annie took his hand in the dark. She squeezed it. They stood together at the top of the stairs, listening to the silence. Meow. Oh, man, Jack whispered.
She's back, said Annie. Meow. I think we already read this book.
I'm rereading it. Follow him, cried Jack. He's going away from us. They started down the dark hallway following the cat's meow. Hands against the wall, Jack and Annie stumbled through the darkness. Meow.
Wait, Mama.
They followed the sound all the way through the winding hallway. Down, down, down. Around one corner, then another and another. Finally, they saw a light at the end of the tunnel. They rushed forward, out into the bright sunlight.
Oh. Yay! Annie shouted.
Okay, you have to pay attention, right, my reader, okay?
No.
But Jack was thinking. Annie, he said, how did we get out of the false passage?
The cat, said Annie.
But how could the cat do it? Asked Jack.
Magic, said Annie.
Jack frowned. But
look, said Annie. She pointed.
the cat was bounding away over the sand.
Thank you, called Annie.
Thanks, Jack shouted at the cat. His black tail waved.
Goodbye.
That sounds like a goodbye, right? Then he disappeared in the shimmering waves of heat. Jack looked at the palm trees. At the top of one of them sat the treehouse. It was like a bird's nest. Time to go home, Jack said. He and Annie set off for the palm trees. It was a long, hot walk back. At last, Annie grabbed onto the rope ladder, and then Jack. Once they were inside the treehouse, Jack reached for the book about Pennsylvania. Just then, they heard a rumbling sound. It was the same sound that they had heard in the pyramid. What did Annie say?
Look, Annie said, pointing out the window.
Jack looked. A boat was beside the pyramid. It was gliding over the sand. It was like a boat sailing on the sea. Then it faded away into the distance. Was it just a mirage? Or was the ghost queen finally on her way to the next life? Thanks to Jack and Annie. What did Annie say?
Home, Jack. Or home, Jack, whispered Annie.
Jack opened the Pennsylvania book. He pointed to the picture of Frog Creek. I wish we could go home, he said. The wind began to blow. The leaves began to shake. The wind blew harder. It whistled louder. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely
Still.
End of the chapter. The last chapter is called Another Clue.
We're going to read it?
Yeah, it's short to finish
Okay.
the book. Late morning sunlight shone through the treehouse window. Shadows danced on the walls and the ceiling. Jack took a deep breath. He was lying on the floor of the treehouse. I wonder what Mom's making for... Oh, that's your part, Kira.
Oh, that's okay. I wonder what Mom's making for lunch, said Annie. She's looking out the window.
Jack smiled. Lunch, Mom, home. It all sounded so real, so calm, and so safe. I hope it's peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, he said. He closed his eyes. The wood floor felt cool.
Boy, this place is a mess, said Annie.
She keeps talking.
Oh, we'd better make it neater in case M comes back.
Jack had almost forgotten about M. Would they ever meet the mysterious M person? The person who seemed to own all the books in the treehouse? What did Annie say, Kira?
Let's put the Egypt book on the bottom of the pile, said Annie.
Good idea, said Jack. He needed a rest before he visited any more ancient tombs. What did Annie say next?
Let's put the dinosaur book on the top of the Egypt book, said Annie.
Yeah, good, said Jack. And a long rest before he visited another Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The castle book can go on the very top of the pile, said Annie.
Jack nodded and smiled. He liked thinking about the knight on the cover of the castle book. He felt as if the knight were his friend.
Jack, said Annie, look.
Jack opened his eyes. She was pointing at the wooden floor. What is it? He said.
You have to see for yourself.
Jack groaned as he got up. Oh! He stood next to Annie and looked at the floor. He didn't see anything. What does Annie see, Kira?
Turn your head a little, said Annie. You have to catch the light just right.
Jack tipped his head to one side. Something was shining on the floor. He tipped his head a little bit more. A letter. It was a letter that came into focus. The letter M. It shimmered in the sunlight. This proved it. The treehouse belonged to M.
Mysterious M.
Absolutely for sure. No question. No doubt about it. Jack touched the M with his finger. His skin tingled. Just then the leaves trembled. The wind picked up. Let's go down now, he said. Jack grabbed his backpack. Then he and Annie climbed down the ladder. They stood on the ground below the treehouse, and then Jack heard a sound in the bushes. Who's there? He called. The woods grew still. I'm going to bring the medallion back soon, said Jack loudly. And the bookmark too. Both of them for you tomorrow. Then what does Annie say?
Who are you talking to? Asked Annie.
I feel like M is nearby, Jack whispered. Annie's eyes grew wide.
Should we look for him?
But just then their mother's voice came from the distance. Jack! Annie! Jack and Annie looked at each other. They looked around at the trees.
Wait, Mom.
Oh, then they say this together. Tomorrow, they said together. And they took off running out of the woods. They ran down the street. They ran across their yard. They ran into their house. They ran into their kitchen. They ran straight into their mom. She was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And boys and girls, that is the end of book number 3, Mummies in the Morning. Join me next time for book number 4, Pirates Past Noon. Bye, boys and girls.